Kind of digging my highlight today though. Oh boy, yes! Hello everybody, welcome back to DissociaDID. We are a channel that is dedicated to educating people about dissociative identity disorder and diminishing the stigma that surrounds it. Today I wanted to talk to you about positive triggers. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what positive triggers are, why you should never positively trigger someone, and also maybe show you what it looks like. Okay, so what is a trigger? If you don't know what a trigger is, first and foremost, I would recommend you go and have a look at our video that we did on PTSD, the science of PTSD and dissociation, which is a very educational, very scientific-based video, and right at the beginning it tells you all about what triggers are. A trigger is something that will cause a flashback to happen. A negative trigger is something that will usually encourage a flashback or cause a flashback and will be very, very distressing, very upsetting, very unpleasant for the individual who's been triggered. There's no such thing as a silly trigger. Triggers can be anything. It's whatever your brain has associated with a traumatic experience. So, okay, what's a positive trigger? A positive trigger, at least when it comes to DID, Dissociative Identity Disorder, is something that can encourage an alter to front. So it triggers them out, but not for a negative reason. Some examples of positive triggers could be things like, if you're familiar with our channel, Kyle has food as a positive trigger. If I'm eating or we're around food, it's very, very likely that Kyle will come out. Positive triggers don't always work. It's not a full safe way to encourage an alter to front, and it is just an encouragement usually. Sometimes it can be a triggered switch, so it's really, really quick, but it really depends on the system, the situation, and the particular trigger. So other common positive triggers are things like songs, or maybe, for example, if you have littles, which are young alters, child alters, often when a system goes past like a very, very cute stuffed toy or something that's very, very bright, something very kid-based, it's a positive trigger. It encourages a child alter to front for a positive reason because they really, really like it. It's caught their eye. Triggered, flipped a switch in that part of the brain, which encourages this personality, this part of the consciousness to come to front, which means they are controlling the body. Now, first off, I bet a few people are thinking, oh, great, so if I'm with a system and I want to talk to my favorite person, for example, or I don't feel like talking to the person who's fronting right now and I want to talk to someone else, I can just positively trigger them out. No, please, please, please do not do this. Even though they're called positive triggers, it is horrible to be positively triggered because you have no control over the situation. If somebody deliberately positively triggers an alter out, huge betrayal of trust. It's very, very unpleasant. You're putting yourself, your vulnerability in the hands of this person who knows about your positive or negative triggers. Not only is it extremely hurtful if somebody is showing you that they don't respect or admire you as much as someone else in your system, it's a whole other thing to be forced to enter a different state of being. That person is essentially robbing you of your memory, robbing you of your ability to control your body, and robbing you of knowing what's happening, because when a switch happens, it's almost always complete amnesia. So whatever another alter has done while they're fronting, the other alters won't remember unless they've been co-conscious or there is very good communication. So if somebody purposefully triggers you, it feels violating. It feels very, very violating. So please, 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 do not use positive triggers to try and force somebody to front. No matter how good your intentions are, be aware of positive triggers, be careful, and never ever do it on purpose, okay? The reason I'm showing you these things and talking to you about these things, and the reason that we're so vulnerable and open and honest on this channel about what DID is like for us and for a lot of other people, is because we want to erase the stigma that surrounds it. Show that we're not superheroes, we're not monsters, we're not dangerous, we're just people whose brains have developed to handle a very, very traumatic early experience, repeated traumatic early experiences, in a way that will keep us safe and alive and healthy. But that also means that there are a lot of things that make normal life, what would be normal and easy and something you wouldn't think about for you, especially if you're not neurodivergent, can be very frightening and dangerous for us. So things like going shopping on your own or getting on a bus on your own. What if you walk past a toy store? Boom, could switch out to a little positive trigger. You won't know where you are, where you've been. A little may buy things with your money, things like that. that, and obviously this can happen with any alter at any time, it can be quite frightening, and it's not always something that's going to be in your control. So for example, if we know where a toy store is, or I've got a glimpse of a toy store, I will be very careful to avoid looking at it as much as possible if I can help it, unless I'm with someone I know I trust, or I know that I can stay co-conscious with that little, or there's a protector very, very close. Sometimes positive triggers can be helpful in dire situations. For example, if you really, really need a protector to front and you just can't get hold of them, or they're really far back in the headspace and you just can't reach them, then sometimes listening to a certain song that's a positive trigger for them, maybe their favorite song, can help bring them closer to the front. So if you need help with something, or you need to ask them something, that can be very useful. But again, this doesn't always work. So on our Spotify, we have playlists for each of our alters. These are just playlists that we like to listen to when we're out. So if you're out, I'm like, well, I want to listen to my music now. Boom, there's my playlist with all my stuff on it. And we've got those for lots of people. They're public. You can listen to them if you want to. I will leave the links to my Spotify down below, where you can see all of our playlists. Some specific songs will be positive triggers. So for example, if I listened to a song right now, and I probably won't be able to play it or I'll get demonetized. Demonetized videos get promoted and suggested less often than ones that aren't monetized, and we're doing this to spread awareness, so I like to avoid being demonetized if I can. Also, it helps us pay our rent, so that's great too. I'll see what I can do. I have spoken to a few of us about this. Everybody knows that this is going to happen today, and the people who are around near the front, I can feel Sally, Kyle, Nadia, Sally, Niall and Cardia. What? Sally, Niall and Cardia? No, Sally, Kyle and Nadia. Good lord. I did ask on Instagram if anyone had any preferences for who they would like to see experiencing a positive trigger and being brought to front. I don't know if this is going to work. It doesn't always work, but like I said, I'm going to go for the people who said that it's okay, who've agreed that this is alright, who aren't going to be shocked by it. We're in our home, we're in a safe space. Jake, who is a fragment, has very specific songs that are really, really strong positive triggers, way stronger than any songs for anyone else. Other than for Littles, the strongest positive trigger in our system belongs to Jake, and a lot of people actually wanted to see Jake or Kyle, and the other one was Omega. A lot of people wanted to see Omega. I'm not going to try and positive trigger her to the front. She's distressed a lot of the time. She's very distressed. She's more comfortable in the inner world, so I'm not going to do that to her. I haven't even asked her. I don't want to force her out on camera, especially not after what happened last time she was on camera. So as you can see, these are our Spotify playlists. Who's closest right now? Who's closest? I've already got a headache, so I know people are really close. Kyle is definitely the closest, but he's not super fond of this very heavy, very feminine eye makeup with like glitter and stuff. But I'm sure he'll get over it. He did agree to do this. Okay, so let's go for Kyle, shall we? One specific positive trigger for Kyle is the song Pompeii by Bastille. Most songs by Bastille actually are positive triggers for him, so I'm going to search specifically for that song, Pompeii. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to listen to it and try and relax. See if he fronts. If he doesn't front, sorry, I'll try somebody else if he doesn't front. Right, that was quick. 35 seconds that took. 35 seconds. I don't think you can see that, can you? Oi, camera. Come on. Come on, mate. Come on, mate. Come on. What? Oh, well. Right, then you'll just have to take my word for it. 35 seconds. Hiya, my name is Kyle. I'm the primary protector of the dissociative system. That's what a positive trigger looks like. A lot of people who've like seen our channel, like I've seen a lot of comments from people saying like, blah blimey, I just completely lost my train of thought. I think I'm still a bit dissociated. So after you front, if you've been if you switched, a lot of the time it kind of takes your brain like a minute to catch up. Like, I've got a really bad headache right now, I can feel it coming on, and it started off quite strong as it is anyway. Just feels very much like your head's being kind of stuffed full of cotton wool. It's not nice at all. Also, it's really fucking hot in here. You turned the temperature up. But no, we were talking about positive triggers, weren't we? Positive triggers. What was I going to say? I was going to say something about people commenting. What was it? Fucking hell. Oh, I'm well sorry. I've completely lost my train of thought. That's fucking irritating. Comments, YouTube comments. What was I going to say? YouTube comments. Come on, brain. Oh, I can't, sorry, I can't fucking remember. I can't remember at all. Anyway, yeah, the only reason that we were able to do this, we all agreed beforehand, like, Chloe had my permission to do this. I was like, yeah, obviously, I'll come say hi to my babes. Hi, babes. And, you know, like, give you a chat and stuff like that. I was not co-con, but I was close-ish to the front. Like, I've been around the front all day because I knew that Chloe was going to film today. And I do like being close to the front when she does that, just in case something happens. I can keep an eye on shit from, like, the background. So, yeah, no, a lot of positive triggers for us are songs and, like, particular items. Like, a lot of people, a lot of alters will have particular items that are, like, their things. Like, for some people, like, for me, it's my hat. This ain't my hat. This is Chloe's hat. I mean, technically, it's my hat as well. It was sent to us by Nan from the Pinata system, specifically for me and Chloe and for everyone else, but with me and Chloe in mind. But to be honest, Chloe's she's claimed this is her hat. Like, not in a cruel way, it's just like it's her favourite hat. But like my hat, which if you've seen me before on the channel, I've got a Meet the Alters video and everything like that if you want to know more about me, like who I am and, you know, why there's a guy living in Chloe's body if you want. I have a particular hat which is a very strong trigger for me. That hat is around, or, you know, like is in eyesight more than like a few seconds. It's a very strong positive trigger for me because it's almost like being pulled forward, like coming up out of water or something like that. It's like, or having a mist clear, like if you were in a dream and you were just waking up. That's kind of how it feels to be pulled forwards to the front. Sometimes it's like we've described being pushed to front and being pushed out of front as being literally like pushed or kicked, like pushed back into inner world. It literally feels like being thrown backwards. Like you get a sense of like dizziness. Chloe always says she feels like travel sick. I don't feel travel sick, but I do feel sick, like a little bit nauseous, very big headache. Like, it's not nice. Like, switching ain't fun, and that's another reason why you should never positively trigger someone. That is not something you should be doing anyway. That is someone's body that you're working with. It's kind of like if somebody you knew had a bad leg or like a weak knee or something was standing nearby you and you wanted to look over their head but they were too tall to like see something. Instead of like asking or saying, hey, are you going to bend down anytime soon? Or like, could you bend down so I can see, or can I walk past you? It's like saying, oh, well, I know how I can get them to do that. Kicking them in the back of the knee that they know is weak. And like, I don't know, watching them fall to the floor and then get back up again. Like, you don't fucking do that. Preying on, I mean, it's not a weakness. Like, it's a mechanism in our brain that works to keep us safe. But if you're preying on something that you know is going to affect someone without their permission, it's like, it's a complete change in the brain, like in your consciousness. It'd be like it's an alteration of the mind. It's like giving someone a drug. It's like drugging someone, or, you know, slipping someone alcohol or slipping something in someone's drink. Like, you don't like alter someone's state of mind without their permission. That is their body and that is, you know, their right. So like, don't fuck around with that. And I know a lot of people, especially like partners of people who have DID and stuff like that, do it a lot, and it is abusive. Like, that's not all right. Don't do that, especially if they're said like, I don't want you to do that. Like, you might think, for example, if you trigger a little out, you might think, oh yeah, but when she's out, she's so happy and fun, so it's all right. But no, the person that you was there before you triggered out this other person ain't gonna be happy, you know. Like, you just don't do it, all right? It's subject close to my heart, I guess. So please don't positively trigger people on purpose. If you have agreement from the system and like you really need a protector to front, like you're in danger, or you need an adult or something like that to be fronting so you can sign something important with the person who's fronting, you can try and use some positive triggers to encourage that person to come to the front or something like that, but only with permission and only if you discussed it beforehand. Discussing with your partner, friend, family member, anyone you meet, colleague, whatever, who has DID, like, is there anything that is difficult for you that you would like me to avoid? Is there anything that's particularly triggering that you would like me to know about so that I can make sure not to trigger you in the future by accident, because I want you to feel comfortable, I want you to feel safe, and I never want to force you to either have a flashback or to accidentally trigger out somebody who doesn't want to be fronting. Is there anything I can do to help you? Is there anything you want to share with me? Because again, that is not information that you're entitled to, but a lot of systems would probably appreciate you asking. So maybe think about that. Just be aware that it's really fucking frightening to not have control over yourself. To lose memories and stuff like that is fucking scary. To come back and be in a different place, like for example, if you've been blackout drunk or something like that, and you like wake up somewhere else, or you've got memories missing and all of a sudden you're somewhere else, it's like that all the time. And it's really fucking frightening sometimes, especially if you don't know what's happened. You don't know if someone's hurt you. You don't know if you're safe. You might not know where you are. You know, you don't know how people's opinions of you have changed. Yeah. Like Chloe always says, there's positive outcomes for people with DID. You can live so successfully and so happily with dissociative identity disorder if you get the treatment you need and if you work on your healing. It is so, so worth it. But DID is a horrible disorder. It stems from childhood trauma. It is intensely traumatic for as long as you have it, pretty much. It's frightening. It's deadly frightening. And it is a fuck ton of responsibility. A fuck ton of responsibility. So when we see people saying like, oh, I wish I had DID, or oh man, I wish I had, you know, like a whole family and friends in my head, it ain't really like that. Sometimes it is. For some people it's like that. But, you know, you're stuck with people you can't ever get away from. People are very, very different inside. Like, everybody fights. Everybody has disagreements sometimes, just like you would on the outside. Some people have introjects of abusers. You're literally living with somebody who abused you inside your head 24/7. It's frightening. DID ain't a game. It ain't something to look up to, you know. It ain't something to desire. This is not a desirable disorder. And I know that to a lot of people it may seem fantastical because a lot of the presentation that's given of DID is in movies and stuff like that, and we don't really have any education about it in the real world. So people think, oh yeah, no, well, that's only in movies, that don't really exist, that's just in books, it's just a stereotype, you know. So yeah, if you want to know more about DID and you want to help people learn really what DID is like, how it works, and how to live a healthy and successful life with it, how to heal, and yeah, like all the psychology and brain stuff, then please consider liking and subscribing. Please consider sharing our videos and stuff like that, because Chloe's she's really passionate about this. She's really fucking passionate about it, and to be honest, I am too now. I was a bit sort of willy-nilly with it at the start, but I don't know, man, you're giving us a platform, like people are listening to us, like people look up to us and stuff, and that's a lot of responsibility to have. And you know, we want to make the most of the opportunity that we've got, and we don't want to let you down. We want to make a difference in the world. We want to make a change. We want to do something right. We want to make things better. And I feel like with the voice that you guys have allowed us to share, it would be irresponsible not to use that to do something positive. So for everybody who has liked and subscribed, everybody who's watched us over the years, thank you for doing this for us, and I hope that you'll let us do something for you. So I hope everybody out there is staying safe, is having a good day, hydrating, because it's hot as balls outside right now. Yeah, I guess we'll see you all in the next video, lads, ladies, and non-binary daisies. Whatever. Anyone who's watching this, ta, have a nice day. See you later. What is it Chloe says at the end of the videos? She's like, lots of love, everybody. Bye. Oh yeah, everybody's always like, oh, people with DID, you know, it's really subtle when you switch and stuff like that. I guarantee you, if we didn't want you to know that we'd switched, you wouldn't know. Let me do Chloe's outro for you. Hold on. Lots of love, everybody. Bye. That's nice close outro, isn't it? We've had a lot of time practicing because my voice is so low it makes the throat right, I'm gonna go dissociate out of my head for a bit because I feel really like, oh, I hate this feeling. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Lots of love, everybody. Bye.